Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we have come to literally the last chapter of Taittiriiya, last verse literally of Taittiriiya. Any questions, clarifications? Or it's all clear? Okay. Okay, let us look at how the whole Taittiriiya was structured. Okay. Started with the Sikshavali. Okay. Though it's called Sikshavali, Siksha means phonetics. Okay. How phonetics are used in language. So the phonetical part was less, it was converted into Upasana. Then we saw the whole Sikshavali, prayers and Upasanas to get your mind ready for the knowledge, including the POP address by the teacher when the students are passing out, graduating. Okay. Because in American English, passing out means fainting. The British English is different. Okay. So the American and the Englishmen were arguing about whose English is right. And the Englishman says, after all, we invented the language, so we should be right. Point, eh? The American says, yeah, that may be true, but we made it user-friendly. So, if the English can speak the language their way, Americans can speak that way, we can have our Indian English also, okay? So they are passing out parade. So the address by the teacher in terms of Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, etc., the whole thing. Because those are students who are youngsters waiting to see life. So some advice in terms of how to live, etc., was given. Then he went to the main Upanishad, talked about Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Soashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha. It's as good as a Mahavakya. Okay? Because in the process of defining Brahman, it reveals Brahman as yourself. Whereas in a sentence like Tattvamasi, Tvam is directly mentioned. In Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, Tvam or Tat is not directly mentioned, but indicated by the word Jnanam, because you are the only source of Jnanam in the world. Jnana meaning knowledge, awareness. Okay? Therefore, from the awareful being, he reveals the awareful being as pure Sat, existence and limitlessness. By revealing it as limitlessness, he has negated all the finitude in yourself. Now it is easy to say, I am not the body, I am not the mind, this, that, etc., and say, I am awareness. But the knowledge is not complete unless I can say, this I awareness is everything. That means all that I negated is dependent on me, I am independent of them. So to understand that, he presented a theory of creation, the 5-element model. Tasmad etasmat atmanaha akashadi sambhutaha, all that he mentioned. Then he revealed the whole creation. And from the creation, food. From food, the body. Because here is where the confusion comes. I take the body as myself. Now remember, he has already negated it in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. But he brings it back to show the body, mind, etc., all are dependent on I awareness. The whole world is dependent on I awareness. Only then knowledge is complete. I am independent of the body, body is dependent on me. This is where many people struggle. First problem is I am taking the body as myself. Even though logically I say, I am not the body, I am not the body. No one can really live saying I am not the body. Because you need the body for everything you do. Therefore, to see that the body is dependent on you, awareness is important. That the body exists only because you are there. In fact, the world exists only because of you are there. The whole thing that you call creation, including your body, mind, etc., is nothing but a manifestation of I awareness. Yes, Anchit, you had a question.
Maharaj, just a pedagogy related question. So what would have been the problem if the Upanishad from the starting itself would have told you are everything?
You are everything.
Yeah.
Because, good question. Because this is not a simple knowledge. Like remember the Adhyasa thing. I don't know Russian is simple ignorance. So if I don't know Russian, I am shown what is the Russian language, I understand. But here, I not only I don't know what Russian is, I have mistaken it for Chinese. So I have to negate the fact that it is not Chinese. Similarly, I have mistaken body, mind, etc. as myself. So I have to first negate that. And in the process of negation, that I am limitless awareness is revealed. Actually, if I understand I am a limitless awareness, that is enough. It is only to strengthen that understanding that the creation, etc., is shown as dependent on awareness. Actually, even with Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, because the word Satyam is there, Satyam is that which exists. Satyam is not truth. Satyam is that which exists. So, by that, you can come to the conclusion on your own that everything that is existing is dependent on I awareness. But to make it clearer, so that people can understand it well, the whole theory of creation is mentioned. So, the first understanding awareness distinct from body, mind, etc., distinct from everything else. Then to understand that what everything else you are talking about is dependent on I. It's only then that I am everything will become clear. Otherwise, limitlessness will become a word. It don't have meaning because I don't know what limitlessness is. All that I know is limited things.
Understood.
Yeah, so that is why this is, but it's a good point to understand for people. That this is why directly it does not say you are everything. There are some teachings where it starts like that also. Okay. Atma va idam sarvam, all that, there are this thing. That style is also can be used. This is easier to understand. Yeah. And as I said, one of the biggest blocks in understanding that body, mind, etc. is dependent on me is our experiences, our comfort orientation. We are too comfort oriented. Therefore, I can't accept body is dependent on me because whatever comfort the body demands, I keep giving into it. See good things, hear good things, eat good things, be comfortable temperature wise. Yeah. I mean, people come all the way to Rishikesh ashram, say there is no AC in the rooms. It's an ashram. It's not meant for comfort. It's meant for learning. Be thankful there is uninterrupted power supply and there are fans. In my time there was fans. My room had a fan. But power supply was not uninterrupted. So in summers, 6-7 hours, there will be no power. There will be during peak demand hours. Mid-morning, 1 o'clock to noon, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 hours hottest. Or in the night when everyone is sleeping. So you don't have power. And Rishikesh, the heat is so much, you can fry eggs on the rocks outside. But you live. And if you can live there comfortably, that means what? You are not comfort oriented. You are not giving in to the demands of the body. You are telling the body, shut up. Tomorrow morning class starts at 6 o'clock. You have to have a bath and all and be ready before that. And walk half an hour to the class. So, sleep. Nobody says, okay. Sleep. It's hot. It's hot, yeah. What do you expect? Summer, it's hot. But nowadays everything is temperature controlled, AC, this, that. So we are giving in too much to the comfort of the body. So to say that body is dependent on me and I am independent of the body is difficult because of that. Mind the same way. My emotional health is important. But I feel like that, Arey Baba, that's not reality. So what? This is my inner reality. Narayana. Now what can I say? If you feel like an idiot, why should I argue with you? Maybe Trump is going too far, but he said one thing which is right. Only two genders, male and female. Don't say some days I am male, some days I am female. I am a female in a man's body. Come on, yaar. Sex is different, gender is different. How far are you going to go? It started with, okay, some people don't feel comfortable in their bodies, they think they are the other sex. Okay, do your sex transformation operation, whatever you want to do. Then it came to, some days I feel like a man, some days I feel like a girl. So your moods are dictating your life. You are confused. And you want to make it a law and confuse others also. How do I deal with you today? How do I deal with you today? Man or woman? Because all depend on your mood. Na? So gender changes according to mood. Hey, there is a limit to this liberal thinking, okay? This political correct thinking. I accept that some people feel differently. I accept that. Fine. Deal with it. Okay. But how far are you going to push it? Think about it, okay? I mean, it's a free country. You are willing to feel as you want. You are willing to behave as you want. And I am free enough in this free country not to accept that also. What about that? Do you respect my freedom? If you are identity confused, why should I be? All this why? These are the types of thinking. Why am I saying that? Hey, I don't mind. You want to feel like that, feel like that. I recognize human freedom and I can accept it. But if you are going to let these feelings and moods dictate your life, forget Vedanta. Knowing the truth is not for you. Why? Because your emotional reality is overtaking the practical physical reality that is there. Then how are you ever going to understand absolute reality if you can't deal with their practical realities, functional realities? You are letting your emotions guide you, dictate terms to you. Yeah. Your feelings are dictating your life. And your feelings keep changing anyway. Yeah.
Are you trying to say that because you want comfort,
Yeah.
and try to make everything subjective as per your convenience.
Very well put. The student has put it very well, Vartika. She says, because I am so involved in body, mind, etc., and I am going by my feelings, I lose my touch with reality, and I make the subjective reality myself. So what happens? Where is Vairagya? Where is objectivity? My subjectivity rules. It is bad enough we are subjective. We want to make that subjectivity legally available. Yeah. कहाँ से कहाँ जाएगा? Where is the end in all this?
And to take it further, to be able to recognize that Aham Brahmasmi, you need to have objectivity.
Exactly. To recognize Aham Brahmasmi, I need to have that objectivity in life.
Because when you have to kind of not let your thinking, emotions, the
Yeah.
Maya of the world,
Correct.
cloud.
To look at my emotions, my conclusions, my self judgments very objectively. Otherwise, you'll be like the student in the maths class, kid who's exposed to all this liberal thinking. The teacher is asking, okay, beta, what is 5 plus 4? The student answers 8. No, beta, that is wrong. So another student answers 9. That is right. But can we not agree to disagree and have a different opinion? Sometimes it is 8, sometimes it is 9. Can you deal with mathematics like that? Or in Hindi, Rishikesh, we have a different way of expressing the same thing. Okay? अरे शेर तो जंगल का राजा है, जंगल का राजा है. कभी बच्चा पैदा करता हूँ, कभी अंडा देता हूँ. Sometimes it gives birth to a child, and sometimes it lay an egg. We are just pushing it a bit to the extreme, okay? To understand that all this is subjectivism. Lot of subjectivity comes into this. So to learn to be more objective. Objective to my thoughts, my feelings, my self-judgments. Not that I am a male, I am a man, or I am a female, I am this thing. Is a big self-judgment. It's a right self-judgment. But at least it's got a functional validity. Outer and inner realities are matching a bit. That much reality is there. So if that much reality is there, then you have to be objective towards that and be free from that as well. So even the liberal person who takes sometimes I'm a man, sometimes I'm a woman, if you can be free from both, you're okay. Yeah, that's just a standpoint I do. I am really speaking the reality. Can be done, but it's more difficult for them because too much of subjectivity is involved. Too much of subjectivity. So to be more objective in life is the goal. Then we can understand Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. I am no more dependent on the body and mind, etc. Body and mind is dependent on me. My functioning is dependent on the body and mind. So I make the functioning also very objective. And because we are human beings, there will always be an element of subjectivity in everything that we do. And to recognize it as such, there is no problem. I like ladyfinger, you like Karela. That's fine. We are not talking now on the nutritive benefits of each of them. We are just talking about what you like. That's perfectly fine. Then if you are talking of nutritive benefits, then you have to be very objective. Nutrition wise, what is good for what? You have to be very objective towards that. There you can't expect your like and dislike to influence that nutritiveness. There you can't agree to disagree. There you have to accept facts. Yeah. Nutritional facts. Yeah. And even there is our subjectivity that is driving us crazy in life. And we forget that some of these are business driven, industry driven. We used to use very healthy coconut oil and groundnut oil or mustard oil in India. These were the three most popular in India, oils in India. Coconut in south, groundnut or mustard oil in eastern parts of the country. Most objective oils ever. Even now, then American business came in. Palm oil. This is the best oil in the world. All your oils are useless. No. So all of us started consuming dalda and this thing. We gave up our ghee also. Then we recognize that now full circle. Ghee is superfood. It is. Drito vaya ayuhu. Right from the Veda it is mentioned. But how much? 1 spoon on your roti or your dal or your paratha. But now people are having ghee shots. Bullet coffee. Can you see how much subjectivity is influencing your life? Yes, you are stuck with an idea and exaggerated it. So I asked somebody, why are you putting that butter in your coffee or ghee in your coffee? You know, it takes away that sting and that bitterness, no? I said, we used to do that with a little bit of milk. Why are you putting ghee into it? Put some milk into it. Oh, milk is a problem and ghee is not a problem. Huh? It'll come full circle. People start talking again and saying, no, milk is good for health. Please drink milk regularly. Now milk is a villain. All this is subjectivity.
Swamiji, I had a question.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I know about Jainism for sure, and even in Vedas somewhere, was it that the women were not allowed to study the Vedas like very very old times?
Nope.
Or that the womanhood does not get moksha? In Jainism, it is like that.
No.
That in a female
See,
body,
the
you
belief
get
came
moksha.
with orthodoxy. In the Veda, there are over 500 Rishikas in the Veda. Female rishis. They all have been identified by one of my batchmates, Guru Ben, not batchmate, junior to me, 20 years junior to me, by a Guru Ben. She has done some research work on this and identified over 500 Rishikas of the Veda. In fact, she has written a book called The Rishikas of the Veda. It's available on Amazon and everything. Okay. Yeah. Atma Prajnananda, Indore based Swamini. So, that's not true. That women cannot study. Why? They were teachers. Rishikas was a teacher, mantradrishtas and teachers in the Veda. So there is no this thing in India that you cannot be a woman and study Vedanta or the Veda or anything. As far as rituals are concerned, there is a division of labor. The men did most of the rituals. The woman played a supportive role. But there are plenty of rituals where the man cannot proceed further unless the woman has had to come and look at the ghee and give her an okay. She has to bless the ghee before the man can continue the ritual. So even though the man was doing it, the woman had a role in it. You had to bless the ghee. Only then the man can do the ritual. If she refuses, the ritual is stopped. Vedanta is not concerned with what body you are in. I was talking of gender and sex roles because a lot of subjectivity is there in that. Yeah. First you had armorous mono relationship, then you had polyarmory coming in. Now you have solo polyarmory coming in, the latest kid on the block. Search for these terms, okay? I don't want to spend my time explaining all this. The latest kid on the block is that. So all the subjectivity goes, then the fact that I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, that is the limitless awareness, this becomes clear. So all this he talked about elaborately, unfolded the whole thing. Then we had Bhrigu. And remember in that Anandavalli, that the fact about Brahma Pucham Pratishta, never take it that when the Upanishad says Anyantaratma, and after Anandamaya he just says Brahma Pucham Pratishta, then it is something to be realized through meditation or something like that, or the Upanishad, the silent there, is actually very eloquently handling the whole thing by saying Brahman is the basis for Anandamaya and therefore for everything else. Therefore he started with Satyam Jnanam Anantam, came to the individual, went back to Ananda. It's a full circle, showing the completeness of the whole thing. Then of course to make people Manda Buddhis, Madhyamadhikaris, those who are not that great a student, to understand this Ananda as an emotional thing also, you had an Ananda Mimamsa. What is the level of Ananda of a wise person? So it went on there. After first 2-3 sentences, it's difficult to conceive that level of Ananda itself. Because that's all experiential. Okay. After that he came to Bhrigu, where the sage worked on the definition, Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman, and came to the fact you are Ananda. Then certain upasanas were given just to make that firm a part of your life. So now after all that, we are coming to the last verse. I hope all this is clear. I just did a quick summary, just pointing out what has to be focused on. Okay? No questions, I will go ahead to the last verse. Okay? All right. Saya evam ved asmat lokat pretya etam annamayam atmanam upasankramya etat pranamayam atmanam upasankramya etat manomayam atmanam upasankramya etat vijnanamayam atmanam upasankramya etam anandamayam atmanam upasankramya iman lokan kamasni kamarupyanu sancharan etat samagayante hahu hahu hahu. Okay. Ahamannam 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 ahamannado ahamannado ahamannada aham sloka krad aham gum sloka krad aham gum sloka krad ahamasmi pratamaja ritamasya purvam devyabhya amritasya nabhayi yo mam dadati ya idameva mava ahamannam ahamannandamamatmi aham vishvam bhuvanam abhyam bhuvanam suvarna jyotihi ya evan vedaha iti upanishad. Okay, that is the 10th section. Okay, my book does not have the markings, so I may not have got all the swaras right. It does not have the markings on this, and I don't have the whole chanting by heart. Sa ya evam with one who knows Anandam Brahmeti, one who knows that. What happens? Asmad lokan pretya, being dead to the world, can be taken literally or conceptually. Okay, negating the world or being really dead. What happens? As etam annamayam atmanam upasankramya. The Atma which is characterized by annamayam, the physical. body or the physical universe. Okay? Upasamkramya, crossing that. Pranamayam atmanam upasankramya. The pranamayam atma, your energy fields. As an individual, my pranamaya kosha. Totality, the whole energy field. Upasamkramya, crossing over that. Etam manomayam atmanam upasankramya. The field of emotion, your emotional world. Upasamkramya. Vijnanamayam atmanam upasankramya. Vijnanamayam atmanam. Where knowledge, judge your own, you are judging yourself by your own reasoning, by your thinking. It's a very important tool, but very often it defines you. Thinking is the greatest functioning a human being can do. With all the equipment available for you, thinking is the highest equipment. It's only by thinking you can come to this knowledge. But you can get conditioned by your thinking as well. And thinking leads to self-judgment. Judgment about the world, about yourself. That's why the teaching becomes necessary. Therefore, upasankramya, having crossed over that. Now remember, when you are saying the world of knowledge you have crossed over, means the whole known world you are crossing over. World is nothing but a manifestation of knowledge. I said that before, explained that before. So, upasamkramya. Okay. Anandamayam atmanam upasankramya. Going beyond Anandamaya also. Anandamaya means you have crossed over your ignorance, your unconsciousness, your karma. Okay. Maya Shakti at the total level. Avukasam. Then what? Iman lokan kamani kamarupyam manucharan. Okay. Okay. Then what? He roams around in the world, he says. As what? Anandoham. Now this Anandoham is not your experiential Anandamaya Kosha. Okay. Okay. The wise person is Ananda. He is no more seeking for an experience of Ananda. It's a huge difference. Whether you are a bhogi or a yogi, you are seeking experiential Ananda. Either bhogi in the world outside or yogi inside. Happiness is an inside job. You have to experience happiness within you. You are on a trip for life. What is the difference between the two? At least a yogi does not disturb anybody else, that's all. He is quietly sitting and trying to. Whereas what is a wise person? Beyond yoga and bhoga. He may be a yogi, he may be a bhogi. It doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. He may be a yogi because he started that way, a life of discipline. Yogaha, chitta, vritti, nirodha, one who has mastered the mind. Okay, so he started that way. Asana, pranayama, etc. Mahayogi. Good thing. Why? It will take care of your health as well. Then came to Anandatma with the teaching. Or this guy was a bhogi. Enjoy all the good things in life. There was this elderly country cousin of mine. Okay. You know how we used to introduce him? Oh, he's a very good person, okay, this guy. Very nice, you know. He really enjoys his evening drink. So one of the categories for being nice was you have to be able to enjoy an evening drink. Then he's a nice guy, not otherwise. The bogey lifestyle. So I enjoyed his drinks and then he came to the learning, mastered his mind, knew the truth. But in his life he may be a rasika. I have known wise person like that. In life you are a rasika. Not that you are dependent on it anymore. You're not dependent on it. You gained your independence from it long back. But that's your life. Samjhi, a wise person can enjoy a drink in the evening. Any rule against that? Yeah, I'm deliberately challenging your thinking, okay? Yeah. You mean a wise person can't be married and enjoy the joys of intimacy? As long as it doesn't take away the fact you are Ananda, you're fine. Yogaratova, bhogaratova. You may be a yogarataha, one who revels in yoga, or one who revels in bhoga. Sangaratova, always in company of people. Or sangavihinaha, a loner. Okay. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Yasya chittam brahmani ramate. One whose mind revels in Brahman. Nandati, nandati, nandatyeva. That person alone enjoys. So here, this is a person. He is enjoying the world. Yeah. What his lifestyle is depends. Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the sadhus eating in a bhandara? Clean bogies, foodies. You and I cannot match them. Forget competing with them. You can't match them. Yeah. I mean, many of you have had a meal with me and you've seen how little sweet I take. There was a time in Rishikesh when you go to Bandaras, I've eaten 6 laddus. Then I became friends with the brahmacharis who were serving the food and got it cut down by 2 to 4. अरे यार हेल्थ का हालत हो जाएगा. But whether you are a yogi or a bhogi, it doesn't matter. If you are this thing, what do you call? Lokan kamani kamarupi anusancharan. Kamarupi anusancharan. He will become kamarupi, he says. What do you mean becomes kamarupi? What are you having a desire for? Why do you have a desire? Tell me. Why do you desire anything? Somebody, I desire something to become miserable in it. Is that true? Maybe if you're deciding to get married. I mean, why do you have a desire? So that by getting that thing, you'll be happy, isn't it? So all desire is for your sense of ananda. And what is this person? Anandoham. Kamarupi. Anusancharan. He lives in the world. Things come to him, things don't come to him. Anandaha. Etat samah gayan aste. This is, the Sama sings like this, he says, about the wise person. What is that? Ahu, ahu, ahu. It's an expression, Nipata this is, okay? To say, yaar, maja. What is that? Your heart is dancing with joy. You use that expression in English, no? Your heart is, my cup of joy brimmeth over. My heart is dancing with joy. No, that way. Okay? Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Annam here means the whole world. I am the whole world, he says. Not ahamannam, I am food. Then others will eat me. Gadbad ho jayega. The whole world is me. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Ahamannadaha, ahamannadaha, ahamannadaha. I am the one who eats the world also. I am the eater and the eaten. I am the eater and the eaten. Meaning subject and object both are one and the same. The world that I experience and I, the subject, the one who experiences the world, both are dependent on one existence awareness. What is this thing that we are calling the experience, outside object? Consciousness with name and form. And who's experiencing here? Consciousness with the mind, which is another form of name and form. I am both. The experience world and the experiencer, both are dependent on me consciousness. Therefore, what does it matter whether I have experiences or I don't have experiences? Really? Whether I have yoga experiences or bhoga experiences, does it matter? I am both the experiencer and the experienced. This is total freedom. One needs to be exposed to this knowledge and own up this knowledge until it comes to this level, okay?
Swamiji, can I ask something?
Shoot.
So the experiencer and the experience, when
Yeah.
he's saying I'm both, so the experience is mithya, no? So this is with the in what standpoint it is used?
Absolute. You are looking at the world and your life from the standpoint of the absolute consciousness that you are. You are taking your stand on the absolute consciousness. Now you are looking at your world of experience because you are still functioning as a human being. Now look at it from consciousness. I am the experiencer. From consciousness, I am the experience world. I am both because both are dependent on me consciousness. So both are dependent on me consciousness. That is how I am looking at the whole world. That's how I am looking at the whole world. That I am nothing but consciousness. And as consciousness, I am looking at the world and saying, this is what it is.
So can I just ask one? I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know
shoot.
whether it is right to ask or not. So is it possible to say that the whole world depends on ahankara? So all I have to
One
do
second.
is negate the
Whole
ahankara?
world does not depend on ahankara. Whole world depends upon consciousness. Your dealing with the world depends upon your ahankara. Now say, what's the question?
Okay. No, so what I was trying to say is that once I negate the ahankara, is the world taken care of?
Nope. You will bump into the world. When you say I am taking care of ahankara, what exactly do you mean?
Like for example, like if a yogi who knows the truth and the person who knows the truth goes into the samadhi experience when his mind is completely resolved. So that means his ahankara is completely resolved. So does that mean that automatically he has resolved the world also? Because
resolve the world in the sense you are not experiencing the world. But that doesn't mean the objective physical reality of the world is not there.
Yeah, but then even the ahankara is still there, na? Even though it is resolved.
The enlightened ahankara can be there. If you know the truth, you will have an ahankara for functional purposes, not in reality. What is our problem right now? Our problem right now is our ahankara, which is an idea of ourselves, is taken as reality. So that goes. But if that goes, let us say you become a wise person and you are called by your name, will you respond or will you expect them to call you Brahman? That means what? An ahankara is available as a dress for functioning. So that much ahankara for functioning is there, which is not a problem. It's an enlightened ahankara now. It's like playing a role and taking the role as real. That's why I give all those examples, remember? Shah Rukh Khan playing the role on the stage. He has amnesia and all that. What is that examples meant for? To show that after realization also there is some functional ahankara is there, which is not a problem. Remember those three types of tadatmam we talked about? One is called sahajam tadatmyam. Okay, those of you are hearing it for the first time, take a note of that. Wherever the mind goes, consciousness will be manifest in that mind, enlightened or otherwise. This is called sahajam tadatmyam, a natural association of mind and consciousness. Second is karmajam tadatmyam. That mind which is in consciousness, is associated with this body. Why is it associated with this body? Because of karma. That mind could have been floating around somewhere. But there is karma which bogs it down to this body, which ties it down to this body. This is called karmajam tadatmyam. Third is brantijam tadatmyam, when I have confused the ahankara to be myself. That is called bhranti, erroneous cognition, adhyasa. So what is the one that creates the problem? Only that brantijam tadatmyam. So the bhranti goes. Naturally I still have a mind, thank God. And because of that, awareness manifests there. And that mind is associated with this body because my prarabdha is not over. Therefore there is a functioning ahankara available, no? Purely for functioning purpose, not in reality. Is this clear? Therefore you can function. Therefore you can have Jivan Mukti Avastha, an avastha where you are living as a human being, but you are free. Anandoham iti. Ahu, ahu, ahu. As a samaha gayante. Anandoham. Okay.
So Swamiji, this aham and mama, I and mine, again the extension of the same question. So if
I and mine are extension of ahankara. Where it's the problem? If I and mine are extension of the sahaja tadatmyam, no problems. Not clear yet.
No, means if the knowledge takes place in the mind,
Yeah.
then the ahankara is resolved.
Yeah.
And everything depends kind of.
Once again, you are still talking as though the ahankara disappears.
No, the ahankara is there. But like if I know that this is my name, then I relate to the world based on my name and my identity.
That's why I said sahaja tadatmyam is going on. But do you take your identity as a doctor as real? Do I take my identity as a teacher as real? How long will I teach you until you can say you are not the teacher and I am not the student? I am Sachidananda Atma. Until then I will teach you. Then I will say, thank God. Are you getting it, Sunita? Think about it. Think about it. So slow. Yeah, Karthik, you had a question.
Yes, Swamiji. So, the Sahajam Tadatmyam,
Yeah.
you mentioned that consciousness is naturally manifest in the mind.
Yes.
But for that matter, consciousness is naturally manifest in everything, right?
Yeah, but everything is not sentient. Mind makes it sentient. That's why it's separately mentioned. It's manifest in a stone, but the stone is not sentient.
Okay, more as a capacity to know
Yeah,
with the awareness. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's where the whole thing comes. So you are living in this knowledge, you are living in fullness. You are playing the role of a human being. Human being becomes a role. Human being doesn't become something fundamental. We all are human beings, we should relate to each other as human beings. Ravade. Human being is also a role. Yeah. But this is very different from the so-called woke thinking. We are all human beings. The criminal, the society is as much responsible as the criminal for making the criminal a criminal. No, everyone goes through bad experiences, but everyone doesn't become a criminal just because of the bad experiences. There are certain choices that were made. Yes, the poor guy didn't get his right brakes, accepted. And I may also have become like that if I had gone through these experiences. But there are people who have gone through those experiences, have chosen to be different. This I learned long back when before I joined the ashram, as part of Chinmaya Mission, I used to run classes for a group of students who came from very, very socio-economically poor background. In Chambur, there is an area called Maskachal. Half the people there were criminals, social outcasts, okay, or doing small jobs like taxi driver and things like that, truck drivers. So they were very a rough and tough society of that whole. And I used to run a children's classes for them. So here were two extreme cases, both from the same class, both from the same background, both of them friends. Both of them attending my class. One of them became an engineer, one of them became a smuggler. Both had same family experiences, similar. Both of them were in the same environment. Both of them had the same input. What made the difference? Choice that you make. And after 15 years of smuggling, the guy gave it up and went straight. Because the seeds that we had sown were good seeds. It took fruit. It bore fruit, good fruits later on. Took 15 years, but good enough. It happened. That is also a choice he made, no? He could have made the choice to continue. Life is easy for him. But he chose to get out of it, which is not easy. To get out of a life of crime is not easy. You get pulled back again and again. But he chose it. But that is at the functioning level. Here we are talking about the absolute level of freedom, okay? That I am human being is also a role. Okay. Then he goes further to say, Aham Shokakrat, Aham Shlokakrat. I am the one who has given off all the Vedic mantras, identifying with Ishvara and saying that. Aham Shlokakrat. Okay. Purvam Devya Amritasya Nabhaye. All the devas who are drunk Amrita and become devas, I am one with them. Nabhaye. Yo mam dadati de idam ide eva maum. Okay. Anyone who gives me alms, he says, okay, he is also annam mannadaha, exaggeration, meaning he is on the right track to reach that, okay. Aham annam, aham annada, okay. Aham vishvam bhunam abhaya bhavaham, okay. I pervade the entire universe. All the thoughts a wise person has, okay. I pervade the environment, okay. Aham vishvam bhunam abhava, okay. Suvarnanya jyotihi. My effulgence is like that of the sun, meaning I illumine everything. I as consciousness illumine everything, bring to light everything else that is there. Ya evam veda. This is the one who knows the truth. Iti upanishad. This is the Upanishad, he says. This is the culmination of knowledge with the Sarvatma Bhavaha, that understanding that I am everything. So only when you come here, up to here, you can say your knowledge is complete. This is not experiential. Please don't reduce this to an experience. I must feel one with the universe. Narayana. It's recognition. And to be able to own up in your life and say, yes, that is true. If you are going to reduce it to an experience, then you will not be able to move. You are sitting in one place with realization. I am the entire cosmos. Wherever. Then I can't shake. Why? Earthquake, universe quake will happen if I shake. No? If it's an experience, it has to be like that. No? Then, if you are feeling hungry, everybody should feel hungry. I experience everybody's pain. You'll be a psychological wreck. Even as an empath, you have a problem. Too much of empathy. You are taking on people's problems as yourself. You have too much of a problem. Then imagine if you are going to say, I feel everyone's pain. That's all. Being ridiculous, okay? Yeah, it's a recognition based, not experience based. Anandoham, yes. And recognition that the whole world depends on me, I am independent of the world. That I am everything. I am the basis for the whole creation. Therefore, I can relate to the fact I am everything. And I can also deal with everything as it needs to be dealt with functionally. Wise people are not impractical idiots. Okay? If wise people were impractical idiots, Shankara wouldn't have created the Naga Babas. The Naga Babas were created as a protection for the sadhus and the society. He wouldn't have created them. That sect he wouldn't have created. Yeah. Alauddin Khilji decided to attack Vrindavan. Okay. He had 4 lakh troops. 4,000 Naga Babas opposed them and routed the whole army. We heard about 300. Have you heard about this? I mean, if he was thinking, I am one with everything, he would have created Naga Baba. Yeah, you are one with everything, but functioning world has to be decided as a functioning world. Yeah. It's only idiots who will talk about it otherwise. Anyway, that's it. Therefore, with this, Taittiriiya Upanishad comes to an end. One of the most important Upanishads actually. If the class survives to come to Brahma Sutras, then you will see the importance of this Upanishad in Brahma Sutras also. Okay. So, next class, we will start Taittiriiya Upanishad. There's one Upanishad that's left. I thought I will do that in between. I was normally from Taittiriiya, I go straight to Mandukya. But I'm making a change because some of the people here would benefit from one more Upanishad. This thing. I thought I will do it that way. Okay. So, good place to stop. Om Tat Sat. Enjoy yourself. Happy Republic Day to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Swami.
Pranam
Happy
ji.
Republic.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care. Take care. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you all. So how you been? Good class, no? Ending up this thing. I said let me sit a little bit.